What I had to do in the end was कि मैंने अपना Wi-Fi बंद किया, then I restarted the router, then I restarted the USB, the USB dongle for the Wi-Fi, and then it worked. So yeah, I have no clue what happened. So we're just going to resume from where we left. In this case, I think we should be good. So no worries. You can continue asking questions. आप लोग chat पे पूछ सकते हो, and then we'll take it from there. But what I do want to do is I was talking about the design patterns. So design patterns key, there are multiple videos available for constructor pattern, singleton, factory pattern, prototype pattern. You can see that I used to have a different sort of view back then, और अब थोड़ा सा different है. Observer pattern. Ooh, look at that. Proxy pattern. Yay! Monstack basic finish कर ली, 2 projects बना लिए. अब क्या Next.js पर मूव करना चाहिए? हसन सिद्दीकी. Yes, you can. जो 2 projects आपने बनाई हैं उसमें आपने क्या किया है? What kind of projects are those? क्या बनाया है? Can you share in the chat? किस तरह का project है? Hifza, hey, how's it going? Okay. What I really wanted to do was to fix a couple of things in the app ताकि I could take it forward. One of the things that I saw was a problem was the enroll thingy. तो enroll के अंदर I fixed the router. ये पहले restart कर रहा था पूरे project को, and now it doesn't, so that's good. Thanks more Ahsan for this information. No problem. Floppy Mandazi Netlify app. Winter collection shop now. Register login. And what does it do? So it's not mobile responsive at all. पहली चीज़, can I use it on phone? Nope, doesn't look good. The banner doesn't go away. What happens if I search something? Can I search something? Newsletter? This doesn't do anything. There are no links. These links don't work. These links don't work. Login. I don't know what login is doing. क्या कर रहा है ये? This doesn't look good. So I would say पहले तो whatever you have, make it responsive, make it mobile friendly, make it usable. This doesn't seem usable. So if a recruiter sees that, they would probably not be, it's not fully prepared, then why are you trying to switch to something else? Try to make this one good and then move to something else. आपने एक tutorial follow करके कुछ बना लिया, that doesn't mean that you know enough things. You can always improve this. So what happens if I do this? Hit enter. Nothing happens. I can try to tell you कि इसमें क्या क्या improve हो सकता है. ये positive criticism है, ठीक है. इसको इसमें नहीं लीजिएगा कि मैं कोई बुराई कर रहा हूँ या कुछ, but this is positive criticism कि आप क्या कर सकते हो. For example, मैं यहाँ पे if I go there in the username, I don't know if this is supposed to be an email or not. I can click login. There's no feedback. Something went wrong. Provide correct credentials. अब जाके कुछ इसके अंदर हुआ है. And if I refresh here, ये पेज काम नहीं करता. I have to go back to the home page. Then I have to do login. It still says this. If I say login, it says something went wrong. Provide correct credentials. If I'm not providing credentials, this button should not even be enabled in this case. Create a new account. If I hit create, something went wrong. Try using different username. And here we have a different error. हम जिस तरीके से error show कर रहे हैं वो completely different है. यहाँ पे जिस तरीके से हम error show कर रहे हैं वो completely different है. तो why do we have 2 different ways of doing the same thing? So maybe try to fix that. Name, last name. I think this should be first name and last name instead of name and last name. Username, email, password, confirm password. If I hit create, both passwords are different. That makes sense. But then is it not required to have those 2 things? अगर मैं यहाँ पे हटा दूँ तो create, both passwords are different. I don't have the second password. Something went wrong. Try using a different username. Okay, so there could be some of the things that are working in this one. Let's see क्या काम कर रहा है. Register gives you a 501 error. So you have a lot of good messages जो backend already provide करता है. I think this is either using JOI or something else. What are you using on the backend? Are you using JOI या क्या? What are you using on the backend for validation? In any case, you get a lot of good errors जिसको आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हो कि email is required blah blah blah, and you can combine those things to show the user okay क्या really missing है. या आप ये भी काम कर सकते हो कि you can highlight all those inputs which are wrong, make them red. So it's not just that you have learned something and then you move to the next thing. Whatever you learned right now, no, you're using Axios to make the HTTP calls. What are you using on the back end to validate all of this? Where do these errors come from? So they come from the back end, but how do they evaluate that the path email is required, the path first is required? This is usually done by something like JOI or some other package that checks on the back end what kind of data you have provided from the front end. So in this case, everything is empty and we are still sending and making an API call. So this should not be sent at all to the backend if these values are not there. You could essentially put a required in here for the input. For example, if I go ahead here and then I could say something like required, then you could actually when you submit, it should actually stop it right here. So this button doesn't have the type submit. This should have a type submit. So this should have a type equals to submit. And then if I hit submit, then it should validate it. And you don't even have a form. That's not good. So you should have a form here. And then when you submit, then it should be good. So button inside submit. So there are a lot of things that are weird in the form. So I would suggest looking into HTML forms, how to submit them, how to do front-end validation, then how to do back-end validation, how to give good user messages, how to make this mobile responsive. In this case, make this mobile responsive as well. The button shop now seems too small. You can expand it. There's so much space here. You could work with that. This looks good, but this doesn't show anything that, I mean, it doesn't show your skill set, to be honest. So I would suggest working on this and improving this UI. This button, when I mouse over on this button, you can see कि यहाँ पे I get the cursor pointer. When I mouse over on this button, I don't get the cursor pointer. Secondly, this button is completely blending with the background. तो बहुत मुश्किल है इसको देखना. It's very hard to see where this button is. Same goes with this one. Same goes with this one. So maybe look at different designs कि आप dribble से देख सकते हो या और जगहों से देख सकते हो, but you have to make this somehow useful. तो हमारे एक प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हमें बहुत जल्दी होती है दूसरी चीज़ों पे जंप करने की. अच्छा मैंने ये भी सीख लिया, अब मैं ये कर लूँ, अब मैं वो कर लूँ. जो आपने अभी तक किया हुआ है, ट्राई टू मेक इट परफेक्ट, ट्राई टू इम्प्रूव दिस एंड देन मूव टू द नेक्स्ट थिंग. सो आई होप दैट मेक सेंस. आई थिंक द सेम वुड बी विद दिस वन एज वेल. देयर इज़ नो पैडिंग फ्रॉम द लेफ्ट. जो मेरा टेक्स्ट है वो बिल्कुल लेफ्ट के साथ चिपका हुआ है. These links don't do anything. We have icons. I don't know why they are there, लेकिन वो कुछ भी नहीं करते. We have sign in. If I hit sign in, I don't get any response कि मैंने कुछ input सही डाला है कि नहीं डाला. अगर मैं यहाँ पे sign in करता हूँ, nothing happens. So this is not useful for me at all. Create an account पे क्या होता है? If I hit create, कुछ भी नहीं होता. तो yes, I have no clue ये application किस तरीके से काम करती है. तो you have some, आप basically आपका backend जो है वो पूरा crash कर रहा है with 500 errors. या आप 500 भिजवा रहे हो. Why are you sending back 500? इन द केस जब हमारे पास फ्रंट एंड से इनपुट सही नहीं आ रहा होता या फ्रंट एंड से इनपुट इनवैलिड होता है, तो हम 500 नहीं भिजवाते, हम भिजवाते हैं 400. 400 मीन्स बैड रिक्वेस्ट, 500 मीन्स कि आपका सर्वर क्रैश कर गया, देयर इज़ एन इंटरनल सर्वर एरर. तो अगर आपका इनपुट सही नहीं है, जो कि यहाँ पे विच इज़ द केस कि ईमेल पासवर्ड यूज़र नेम सारी चीज़ें जो है वो हमारे पास एम्प्टी जा रही हैं, तो बैकएंड 400 भेजेगा. और अव्वल तो अगर हमारे पास इनपुट जो है उसके अंदर कोई वैल्यूज़ ही नहीं है, तो ये बटन इनेबल ही नहीं होना चाहिए. आप क्यों यूज़र को अलाउ कर रहे हो कि वो बगैर कुछ इनपुट किए क्रिएट करता रहे और आपके बैकएंड को क्रैश कर दे? मैं आपके बैकएंड को जस्ट इस तरीके से क्रैश कर सकता हूँ कि मैं एक ऑटोमेटेड स्क्रिप्ट लिखूँ और मैं आपको 1000 या 2000 दफ़ा ये चला दूँ और उसके बाद आपका सर्वर जो है बैठ जाएगा पूरा, या आपके सर्वर की मेमोरी जो है वो पूरी इतनी ऊपर चली आएगी कि अगर आपका पेड प्लान है तो फिर आपका बिल आ रहा होगा दबा के. So you can start looking into these things before jumping to Next.js. Yeah, before jumping technologies, try to utilize what you know already to make something better. So I hope that makes sense. ठीक हो गया? सर वेब डेवलपमेंट के लिए कोई अच्छी बुक सजेस्ट कर दें प्लीज़. वेब डेवलपमेंट के लिए आई डोंट थिंक कोई जेनेरिक बुक है जो मुझे पता हो, टू बी ऑनेस्ट अरबाब. आई एम नॉट रियली श्योर. वेब डेवलपमेंट की कुछ अच्छी टेक्निक्स अगर आपको देखनी है तो आप वेब डेव पे देख सकते हो. जैसे आप लर्न पे जाओगे तो इसमें बहुत स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक्स हैं. रिस्पॉन्सिव डिज़ाइन, लर्निंग फॉर्म्स, लर्निंग CSS, लर्निंग प्रोग्रेसिव वेब एप्स. आई थिंक आप ये ट्राई कर सकते हो. यू कैन डेफिनेटली ट्राई दिस. Basim says, thanks more Ahsan for this information. No problem, Basim. Um, agreed the same with me. Hifza, what do you agree? What is the same with me? Hey bro, मैं आपका वेब डेवलपमेंट का कोर्स कर रहा हूँ अभी. HTML की लास्ट वीडियो कंप्लीट की. कोर्स बड़ा आला है आपका. कल से इंशाल्लाह CSS स्टार्ट करूँगा. ज़बरदस्त जीशान, गुड यार, ज़बरदस्त. वेब डेवलपमेंट के कोर्स के बाद क्या सीखना चाहिए? पहले वेब डेवलपमेंट तो आप कंप्लीट कर लो, फिर उसके बाद सोचना क्या करना है. अभी बहुत ज़्यादा आगे जंप करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. व्हाट इज़ दिस? इज़ दिस द नंबर ऑफ पीपल हु आर जॉइंट या क्या, या नंबर ऑफ वीडियोज़ हैं या क्या है ये? 30 क्या था ये? आई थिंक दिस इज़ the number of videos that are there, right? I think interesting. Anyways, तो तो यस, आई वुड से वेब डेवलपमेंट सीखने के बाद आप, या वेब डेवलपमेंट एक ऐसी इतनी बड़ी फील्ड है जिसको आप कभी फिनिश नहीं कर सकते. तो जब आप टेक्नोलॉजी सीख रहे हो या छोटी छोटी चीज़ें सीख रहे हो तो उसको साथ साथ इम्प्लीमेंट करते रहो. यू स्टार्ट इम्प्लीमेंटिंग दोज थिंग्स into your real projects. You start implementing and creating different things that are useful. For example, I try to create different things, or I utilize the skill set that I have into my own projects. For example, the CodewithAhsan.dev, this is my site and I keep adding those things, those features. For example, abhi yahan pe there's an issue that I can show you. For example, agar main jaun courses pe and if I go in and click enroll, see what happens. If I click this, it opens this, right? And then it doesn't do anything. So let's actually close this. Let me actually open a new one like this one. Cool. So this one, if I go here and if I click enroll, see what happens. So it came here in this situation, and if I go to the course introduction, you can see that this is still says कि ये enroll नहीं हुआ. अब जो है ये है बग. ठीक है, और बग एग्जिस्ट नहीं करेगा तो फिर हम क्या करेंगे? तो ये बग रिजॉल्व कैसे किया जाए? प्रॉब्लम क्या आ रही है? प्रॉब्लम ये आ रही है कि इफ़ आई क्लिक दिस, इफ़ आई क्लिक द एनरोल बटन, व्हाट हैपेंस इज आई गेट दिस एरर और फिर दिस स्टॉप्स देयर और फिर या नथिंग हैपेंस एट ऑल. इफ़ आई क्लिक एनरोल, it goes here and then it doesn't get anything. And the reason for that is the page refreshes. So if you will notice, we will get a refresh now. So if I click this, you can see it's a new page. That's not good. So what I ended up doing now in courses is this. तो अगर मैं ये local पे आपको दिखाऊं तो मेरे local पे this is fixed. If I click enroll, this waits, and as soon as the enrollment is done, then this uses NextJS, and then it goes forward. And if I show you the console, we don't see that error. The other reds are different things. But if I now go to course introduction, तो यहाँ आपको नज़र आएगा कि on local this takes a bit of time. So let's see. So on local you can see now it says leave course. So I can join the course or I can leave the course as well. And this works now flawlessly. So I can leave the course. It will turn to yellow. कि ये पूछता है do you really want to go? Yes, I do. And if I go to courses, और ये खुद मस्ट ट्राई कीजिएगा कोड विद एहसन की साइट पे, बिकॉज इफ़ यू डू तो आपके सारे असाइनमेंट्स, आपकी सारी जो सबमिशंस हैं वो सब रिमूव हो जाती हैं, बिकॉज दैट इज़ ऑल्सो डेटा प्राइवेसी. सो इफ समवन हैज़ enrolled into the course and they want to go away and leave the course, तो उनकी इनरोलमेंट रिमूव हो जाती है, उनके सारे सबमिटेड असाइनमेंट्स रिमूव हो जाते हैं, स्पेशली मेरे डेटाबेस से उनके सारे जो प्रोग्रेस है कि उन्होंने किस किस कोर्स को मार्क किया हुआ है वो सब रिमूव हो जाता है, ठीक है। तो फॉर एग्जांपल इफ़ आई गो बैक टू कोर्सेस, तो यहाँ पे इट सेज इनरोल, अभी मैं इसमें इनरोल नहीं हुआ, तो इफ़ आई इनरोल इन दिस वन एंड देन if I go to course introduction, let's wait. And then if I try to mark this as completed, you will see that as soon as I try to leave this course, then everything will go bunkus. So if I hit leave course, you're going to see that it asks, hey, are you sure you want to leave? This will delete all your progress and course, including the submitted assignments. So if I hit OK, you're going to see that the mark is completed is gone. So everything in the progress is gone. But it also reloads the page, so I'm going to remove that. Angular versus React, in your opinion? I love Angular much more than React, to be honest. I think I'm always going to go with Angular because it's much easier to write, much easier to maintain, much easier to scale. सर क्या रिएक्ट जेएस लड़ने के बाद CSS फ्रेमवर्क सीखना चाहिए लाइक बूटस्ट्रैप और टेलबिल्ड CSS? साथ खानज़ादा बिल्कुल सीखना चाहिए. इस पूरे कोर्स के अंदर, इस पूरे प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर आई एम यूजिंग टेलबिल्ड CSS, तो बिल्कुल सीखना चाहिए. अच्छा, जो हमारे पास अभी एक इशू है वो है लीव का. तो इफ़ आई इनरोल एवरीथिंग लुक्स गुड, इफ़ आई क्लिक लीव कोर्स माय होल पेज रिफ्रेशेस. मुझे ये काम नहीं करना, तो ये जो रिफ़्रेश हो रहा है अभी देखें, ये हुआ रिफ़्रेश, तो मुझे ये काम नहीं करना. तो व्हाट आई एम गोना डू इज़ के आई थिंक दिस इज़ द post.js and I think unenroll, nope, or I think is leave course, leave, no, I think it is course post layout.js जहाँ पे हम leave करते हैं. Yep, and we have unenroll, and then we say search marked, and if I go to unenroll we should have something like window.location.reload. yes, तो ये चीज़ मैं यहाँ से हटा रहा हूँ, तो we don't have to really do it. How do we connect to database? Currently doing SQL Server 4 semester to the front end, HTML, CSS, Java, because I got a project of DB in uni. So how do you do it? So you don't connect with database from the front end ever. So front end may you have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So HTML is the structure. JavaScript is the interaction. What happens if I click something? And then CSS is how everything looks. But your database is something that is on the other side, and the only thing that should communicate with your database should be your backend. So essentially, if I go to ExaliDraw and if I try to draw it for you, this is going to be oops. So in this case, this is going to be your front end, this is going to be your back end, and this is going to be your database. So this is your database, this is your server, or you could call it backend, and this is going to be your front end. Your front end would always talk to the backend like this. For example, you do a get call. The database or your backend essentially goes to the database, DB query to get the data. It should be the query response that retrieves the data from the database in this case. And then the server basically responds the data back to the front end. And then you can render it. So you could say API response. So this is how the architecture works for a platform. Does that make sense? किसने क्वेश्चन पूछा था ये? उस्मान शरीफ ने पूछा था. उस्मान शरीफ. Does that make sense? So your front end, which has HTML, JavaScript, CSS, is here on your front end. On your back end, you could have, I don't know, Node.js or Java or C#.net. And then your database could be MongoDB, SQL, or MySQL or PostgreSQL or DynamoDB. I don't know. Any kind of database that you want. Ooh, no. Come back. DynamoDB. No, DynamoDB. So this is the structure that you would mostly have for your databases, your backend, your front end. Usman says yes. Okay, cool. So then you understand what we are talking about here. If you're on YouTube, there's a function called clip. तो इसको यार clip कर लेना ताकि I can get back to that later. आपको अपने कोर्स में शॉर्टकट्स भी ऐड करने चाहिए. मैं जब HTML की वीडियोस देख रहा था तब आपने कुछ शॉर्टकट्स यूज़ किए थे जो मुझे नेट से सर्च करने पड़े. ट्रांजाइनर ओला हाउस गोइंग. आप स्ट्रीम किस ऐप के थ्रू करते? यूट्यूब और फेसबुक दोनों पर स्ट्रीम कर रहे हैं. आई एम यूजिंग समथिंग कॉल्ड restream.io. So Restream is an app that allows you to stream to multiple platforms. So I'm streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and also LinkedIn. So you can also try that. Again, I'm using this with something called OBS. So I'm using it with the OBS software. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, Transigner. How's it going? I'm glad that the Twitch issue is fixed. All right, getting back to the issue. So if I enroll, this looks good. I'm able to mark things as complete. I leave the course. I hit OK. The page does not refresh. Everything is good. If I hit mark as complete, it enrolls me automatically. If I leave the course, okie dokie. I think this looks good. If I go to the submissions and if I say, all right, one of the things that I implemented yesterday was कि अगर कोई submission पे, if someone is going to the submissions page and they try to submit something and they have not enrolled into the course, the feature I implemented was that they are automatically enrolled in to the course. I think there should still be a sort of dialogue that asks, hey, do you want to enroll into the course? But I think that's fine. So if you hit, because everyone can leave anytime. So if I hit submit, you can see that I'm already enrolled now as it says leave course. And then I can leave the course and it says, okay, done. Usman Sarif says, or PHP. Yeah, you could also have PHP in here. C#.net, PHP. I mean, there's so many things. So PHP, Rust, I don't know, Golang, Scala. There can be a lot of things. Transigner, how have you been? Long time no see. Okay, so we got the resources. One of the other features also I implemented yesterday was ke previously on the courses page, you had to have all these expanded. This was really hard because everything was expanded. So if you had to click like here, then you would have to scroll all the way up, and then when you had to go to the next one, then you would have to scroll all the way up, blah blah blah. So what I ended up implementing was this. So if I click this one, then only the chapter that has the current one gets expanded. Otherwise all of them are closed. So if I click this, see what happened. So it changes the page, but then it also closes all of the other ones. But if I click, for example, something like introduction and click this one, you can see the rest of them are collapsed. So I can now jump easily to any of these ones, and then the rest of them would be collapsed. So I think this makes it a bit easier for the developers or who are following this to sort of have not have to scroll like all of the things. So I think it makes much sense. But if you have any features, if you know of any features that you would like to have here, no, here on this app, let me know. Let me know on the Discord or let me know on Facebook, whatever. आप किसी को रिप्लाई दिया था, why should I learn to drive if there's Uber? I get it, but sir हमारे यहाँ तो WordPress और Shopify developer ही project ले जाते हैं. सर आप प्लीज़ थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन करेंगे हम React.js और Angular क्यों सीखें? सात ज़्यादा आप जाके अपवर्क पे प्रोजेक्ट्स देख लो और freelancer.com पे ट्राई टू सी कि कौन कौन से प्रोजेक्ट्स पोस्ट हो रहे हैं. आधा घंटा बैठो और देखो कि कौन कौन से नए प्रोजेक्ट्स आ रहे हैं, तो आपको अंदाज़ा हो जाएगा कि क्यों सीखें. क्योंकि दुनिया में सिर्फ वर्डप्रेस ही नहीं है, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ अदर थिंग्स टू डू एज वेल. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि 99 प्रोजेक्ट्स जो है वो वर्डप्रेस के आ रहे हैं तो एक एंगुलर का आ रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है. आई थिंक द मार्केट शेयर इज़ अबाउट 55-45 कि 55% अगर वर्डप्रेस के हैं तो फिर 45 में आपको नॉर्मल जो स्किल सेट हैं वो मिल जाएंगे। और दूसरा, वर्डप्रेस की मार्केट बहुत ज़्यादा सैचुरेटेड है। अगर ये वही बात है कि हर कोई एमबीबीएस कर रहा, सॉरी, हर कोई एमबीए कर रहा था, तो एमबीए की वैल्यू गिर गई थी। तो अगर आप भी वर्डप्रेस करोगे और इंडिया से निकलने वाले जो है वो 50,000 लोग भी वर्डप्रेस कर रहे हैं, तो आई थिंक इट्स गोना बी अ वेरी टफ कॉम्पिटिशन। सेकेंडली, वर्डप्रेस के अंदर इट्स नॉट रियली ईजी इन वर्डप्रेस टू कस्टमाइज थिंग्स अ लॉट, but if you're working with React or Angular, you can customize as much as you want. For example, this is React. I implemented this whole feature of collapsing, and I think I'm going to do it right now for the other page as well, which was the courses page. So the courses page is still requires some tweaks. I'm gonna do that. So I hope that answers the question, Saad. If you're developing on a laptop, how can you make responsive for a bigger screen? That's my problem. So it's not about so first of all, your app works for bigger screens. Your app does not work for smaller screens. So your problem is not really bigger screens, your problem is smaller screens. And then the other thing is there are a lot of other applications. For example, I think even for if you're working with the normal version of it, for example this one, I could go ahead and use the responsive view. So I could go ahead and do something like, for example, let's say, even in the responsive view here, I could go ahead and say, all right, 50%. Now it's responsive. I'm still using this because if you're doing it for 100% using the simulator, if I expand all the way here, this is about 1400 pixels, right? If I go and change this to 50%, now I can expand it to 2000, 28,000, 29,000. So this tool is available, so you can zoom out and then see, all right, how would it look on the bigger screens. So I hope that makes sense. जीशान कह रहे हैं आपके एचटीएमएल वाले कोर्स में एक वीडियो वर्क नहीं कर रही थी जिसमें स्टार्टर फाइल्स बताया हुआ था शायद। यस, गुड कैच। देयर इज ए there's a really cool person, Rana, जिसने ये he actually pointed out कि ये issue है. Let me see if I can find the person. I think it was in Web Dev Basics. Yes, यहाँ पे राना ने actually यही चीज़ report की थी कि video not available, please resolve issue as soon as possible, jazakallah, and he shared this. So if you find any issues in the site, you can let me know on the Discord. And then I was like, that's not really good. So then I fixed it, and now it's fixed. So activity using start files was actually pointing to the wrong video, and now I just added it and pointed to the right one. So yay, it works now. I think it was the starter files, which is in introduction. No, it's in HTML using starter files. Yeah, this is the one that was wrong. So now it's fixed. Yay. सर मेरा एम वेब 3 डेवलपमेंट सीखना है। इवेंचुअली मैंने HTML CSS जावास्क्रिप्ट से स्टार्ट किया है, डेली प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ। इससे आगे मेरा रोड मैप क्या होना चाहिए? डायरेक्ट सॉलिडिटी। हाँ, आई थिंक सॉलिडिटी कुड बी वन ऑफ द थिंग्स। यू कुड ऑल्सो लुक इनटू समथिंग कॉल्ड buildspace.so. I think that's the name. Is it the one? Then more. This is a school, work on ideas. Is it not the one? Build space web 3 tutorials. I think it was the same one, the build space SO, right? Yeah, there it is. But have they turned this off? No, that's the one. Sir, mera okay, Ismail Khatar. Okay, I think I replied to this. इससे आगे क्या roadmap होना चाहिए? So you could look into this. I think there is also this roadmap.sh. I'm not sure if he has Web3 blockchain. Yeah, he has a blockchain one. So you could look into this one as well. The roadmap for blockchain, look into Ethereum, Polygon, blah, 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 smart contracts. You can look into all of these cool things that he has put here. So I hope that one helps. This one helps. Or first I should learn any other backend supported languages like Node.js. It depends on you. You cannot do everything. You cannot do both. So just pick one. The one that you like more. अगर आपको Web3 में ज़्यादा interest है तो Web3 start करो. अगर आपको backend में ज़्यादा interest है तो backend start करो. It depends on where you want to be. Usman कह रहे हैं I'm taking the course of HTML and CSS on your website, but there are no ads on the videos. But when the same videos are played on YouTube, it shows ads. I mean, videos have same interference like YouTube videos and suggestions. I don't think I'm getting your point. But essentially, it would be the same thing. I think अगर आप यहाँ पे भी देख रहे होगे तो it could be कि यहाँ पे ads show ना हो रहे हो, and I think that was the idea कि you don't really have to. If the ads are being shown, then I think you should be a bit more humble because that's the only way the channel makes money. Everything is free. So I think the only thing that is essentially there is just these two ads. I think I've disabled most of the ads completely from a lot of pages. For example, on courses and blog, if you start here, I don't think you get any ads. If you go to courses, you don't get any ads. But if you are just viewing a particular video, you don't get any ads here, but you only get ads on this page, as far as I remember. And you won't get any ads on the videos, as far as I remember here. So yeah, this site cannot be reached. I'm not sure why that would be. I can open it. Why can't you open it? You can just go to roadmap.sh if you can't open it, because I just clicked here और ये मेरे पास open हो रही है, so I'm not really sure why. It could be something with the IP or with the location. I am not sure. Chit chat. Yeah, I'm a junior React dev, get a freelance job. Tommy says. Let's see if I can reply to Tommy. Tried creating an account on freelancer.com or Upwork. हो गई ओपन, पहले पता नहीं था कि ओपन नहीं हो रही थी. Okay, good. Okay, cool. So I think we can get back to the issue जिसमें हम काम कर रहे थे. तो I think one of the things was that if we unenroll, then we should not be having oh, we still get the error. Why do we get the error? Get enrollment doc. If I hit enroll here, I don't get the error now. Is it because I'm already enrolled? Let's see. I think we have a bug. Should be able to fix the bug. Yes. Go to course. Click enroll. But we don't have a bug now. Why don't we have a bug now? I have no clue. Anyways, in that particular case, we'll just see, okay, this is fixed. All right, one of the things that I want to do is I want to do the same thing as what we have on the course page or actually the post page. तो what we are going to do is we are going to build a feature जिसमें हम ये काम करेंगे और उसमें कुछ react होगी, कुछ state management होगी, but essentially we are going to do the same thing. तो ये जो icons हैं that show or hide the chapter details, we are going to implement something similar to the other side as well. So yeah, let's try to do this. I'm not really sure why we are doing it in two different ways, but yeah, let's see what we can come up with. So right now, जो मेरे पास course post layout है, I think that's the one that I'm using right now. Or we do have, where are you? Yeah, so this is the chapters.map, and then we have the post here, and then we do the chapter expansion here. Okay, so how can we make it reusable? We have the post list जो कि आती है chapters के name के पास, but I mean the post list is a reusable component, but the chapters list is not a reusable component. And I think we can make it a reusable component. So we are not copy pasting things here and there. So ये सेक्शन है जिसके अंदर मेरे पास चैप्टर का नाम आ रहा है, और आई थिंक we have the same thing in another file, and that is the I think it's in the no, so we have the course post layout, but then we also have the course JS. So in here as well, I think we have the same section जिसमें we have, yeah, here we go. So here we have the same thing as well. So we have a chapter, we are looping over the chapters, and then we are doing something. So we need to create a component for this. So how about we go and create a component? Assalamu alaikum, Ahsan bhai, please tell me from where I can prepare more myself for data structures and algorithms for interview. I would say you can try lead code. To try for lead code, and you can Google it, and then you can go to leadcode.com and then try medium and basic questions from there. Another one would be patterns.dev. So try this, get started and design patterns, and then try this. Saad Ashraf, I hope that helps. Okay, going back to the code. तो ये जो पूरी लॉजिक है कोर्स चैप्टर्स मैप, आई थिंक दिस इज बीइंग कॉपी पेस्टेड यहाँ पे, और फिर हमारे पास चैप्टर्स डॉट मैप है, और फिर ये सेक्शन है, और फिर वही चीज़ हो रही है. तो व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इज़ कि हमारे पास पोस्ट लिस्ट का जो कंपोनेंट है ये है यहाँ पे. तो व्हाट आई कैन डू इज़ inside courses I can actually create another component. We can call it courses list .js. Then we do a React component जो कि हम scratch से बना रहे हैं. Let's have a look at this as well. So we have a chapter. Okay. So what do we need to pass to the post? A couple of things. जिसमें chapter आ जाता है, post आ जाती है, course आ जाता है, और marked आ जाता है. Okay. And do we do the same thing here? Chapter, course slug, completed post, यानी कि marked जा रहा है. Okay. तो the current post है वो sort of optional है. Alright, so what we can do now is कि हमें एक component create करना पड़ेगा जो कि हम करेंगे chapter के साथ. Okay, let's do it. I think we should be good. तो what we are going to do now is हम जाके कहेंगे कि course list एक component है जिसके अंदर वही सारी चीज़ें मौजूद हैं जो कि आपको एक देनी है जो आप पोस्ट को देते हैं. तो we are going to have a chapter. We can have the course instead of course slug. We can have a selected post or active post, and then we could have a marked posts. Okay, or I could say marked posts. So now that I have this, what I'll do is कि मैं ये जो कोड है जो कि हमने कोर्स पोस्ट लेआउट में किया हुआ है ये इसको ज़रा हम ले चलते हैं वहाँ पे कोर्स चैप्टर्स मैप. तो इसको हम ले चलते हैं यहाँ पे. एक मिनट, ये वाला ब्रैकेट कहाँ क्लोज हो रहा है? वहाँ पे हो रहा है. या दैट मेक सेंस. तो हम यहाँ पे जाएंगे और हम कहेंगे कि सबसे पहली चीज़ तो ये कि इफ़ देयर इज़ नो कोर्स प्रोवाइडेड तो आप सीधी रिटर्न हो जाओ, मजाक ही नहीं है. उसके बाद फिर वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ कंपोनेंट्स. So this is what we would render. So we would have a course chapters map, but I'm gonna actually have it like this. Oops. What did I do? This one. So what I would do is I'll use a fragment, or fragment ke andar we can have this. We would essentially want this and this. All right. What would you suggest me to learn, and where can I learn that? Thank you. Dervish, what is your intention? What do you want to learn? What is it that you're looking forward to learn? Is it Programming? Is it web development? Is it I mean, You have to be a bit more precise. Okay, and in this case, I would also I would also handle the post list, but let's have a look at this. So this I have here. I've got the expansion. I could also get the expansion from where do I have an expansion? I'm gonna copy this course state as well inside here, and then I can say use state to create this state. Then I also need the font awesome icons, so I can say font awesome icon. I can also say fa chevron down. And what I'm trying to do right now is if you see the course, so in the course we do have these down arrows. So we want these ones, and this is called the chevron down. So मेरे पास ये chevron down आ गया. Then I do want the post list component to be here. So post list component to be here. This should be active post, and this should be marked posts. Okay. तो ये पूरी फाइल तो हमारी हो गई क्लीन. I think I like what I see. What is this chapter? Chapter कहाँ से आया यहाँ पे? और ये हम कहाँ पे भेज रहे हैं? Post chapter. No, wait a second. Chapter post के अंदर chapter जा रहा है और post list क्या कर रही है chapter के साथ? It checks if the chapter post. Okay. If it checks if the post. Oh, okay, makes sense. So then, then what I can do is I can also then pass the chapter. Okay, so chapter हमारे पास आएगा, and then we are also passing chapter here. Good. तो ये इस तरह unused सा क्यों आ रहा है? Oh no, wait a second. Then I don't need to pass. I don't really need to pass chapters in this case. So I can just say, all right, course pass कर दो. Course के साथ हमें slug भी मिल जाएगा. Slug. Yes, the course slug भी मिल गया, and then I think I can go on. Darvesh says, I want to learn web dev first. Darvesh, do you understand Urdu or Hindi? If you understand Urdu or Hindi, then you can actually get enrolled in this free web development course. That is this one. So you can essentially start here. Is Angular is a must to learn with React? No, Hamad. It's both of them are pretty different. So you either learn Angular or React, and then once you get good at them, then you can try the other one, but you don't have to learn both of them. Okay, so now I think I have a good idea of what's happening here. So chapter expansion, blah, 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 looks good. The only thing that I have a bit of problem with is setting the current one as expected. So we'll have a look at that. So in this case, what I want to do is set chapter expansion. This is the one that I'm looking at. So set chapter expansion is something I do here. So I want to move this away from here to courses list. That I can work with this. I can do something like use effect. So I want to do it when the component renders or when we have a different course in here. So I could do something like, hey, whenever we have a course, can I please do this? So I can look at the course chapters and active post. And then I can also put the active post here. So essentially, whenever either of the course changes or the active post changes, I want to calculate the chapter expansion. Urdu bhai Pakistan se ho, then you can use just use the web dev basics tutorial. Darvesh. Okay, so we handle the chapter expansion. Cool. I think this makes sense. So what I'm going to do now is first I'm going to replace this with the component that we just created. Courses list ke naam se we have created this component. So what I'm going to do is here we have the course chapters map. So I'm actually going to remove all of it, I think. oops, oops, oops. So what I'm going to do is I can say course and then course list. ठीक है, अब इस कोर्स लिस्ट को क्या क्या चीज़ें चाहिए? इट नीड्स ए कोर्स, एक्टिव पोस्ट एंड मार्क्ड पोस्ट. सो आई कैन से समथिंग लाइक कोर्स एंड आई कैन से कोर्स and then there was a active post that is going to equal to post that I already have, and then finally there was a marked post and I have a marked variable. So if I did everything correctly, तो क्या होगा? तो ये होगा भाई कि everything should then work. Let's save this और हम ज़रा इसको देखते हैं अपने local host पे. So in the local host, if I look at the course now, और मैं जाके इसको course, no, if I go to this page, let's see, hopefully everything works. Unless कि मैंने कोई बहुत ही बड़ी mistake की हो. Yay! Nothing was returned from render, so I'm gonna fix the issue. Nothing was returned from the render because I'm not returning anything. Hello, assalamu alaikum. ठंडे ठंडे कल्ले हो रहे हैं. कहाँ पे गए थे? कहाँ पे गए थे? ममम खाने गए थे. डी 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 डी. 10 minutes. अच्छा, ओके. चलिए आप मम्मा के पास पहुंचिए. I'm gonna sign off. खाने की दावत आ गई है, तो then I will have to go. But I'm super curious on if this is working or not. I'm returning this. Oh, here's the bug. अगर हम it should be not course, तो ये काम करना चाहिए. तो I think we would have solved the issue. जैसे ही ये काम करेगा, I'll run. ये तो यहाँ पे जो कोर्स लिस्ट है ये काम कर रहा है. ठीक है. ये ओ देखा देखा जल्दी से काम कर जाता है वो. ये देख रहे हैं आप. ओ चाओ. चलें जी. Send which country are you working currently? I think मैंने इसका आंसर दे दिया. नहीं दिया तो I'm in Sweden. फिर वक्त I do. तो I'm in Sweden right now in Stockholm. ओके भाइयों और बहनों, आई थिंक इसमें मुझे बस आखिर में ये दिखाना है कि ये रही कोर्सेस लिस्ट. दिस इज़ द कोर्सेस लिस्ट कंपोनेंट दैट वी जस्ट क्रिएटेड, और ये खूबसूरती से काम कर रहा है. तो आई कैन नाउ यूज़ द सेम थिंग ऑन द अदर पेज. एंड आई विल नाउ अटेंड माई किड क्योंकि वो मुझसे बातें कर रहा है. तो अल्लाह हाफिज़. टेक केयर एवरीवन. आई एम गोना सी यू लेटर. बाय. आइए.